Hi, it's Kari here, and I'm popping online today because I have so much to share with you. I've been writing about numerology and soul contracts, and there's so much I have to say, so I thought, why don't I just say it with actual words? So here I am speaking to you about two of my favorite topics, numerology and soul contracts. So again, I have so much to share about this. This is like, I'm so passionate about sharing the information that I have received from my spirit guides over the course of over 20 years, doing thousands of readings and thousands of courses for people. And so I want to share some of my insight with you because I know it can help you. So you probably know me as from my forecasts, right? I do these monthly numerology and astrology forecasts, and I also incorporate tarot and information that I received from my spirit guides. And when I do these forecasts, everyone always says to me, "You're talking directly to me. How did you know this about me?" Because it's really personal, and there's an art to this. There's an art and a science to interpreting numbers and symbols. But the thing is, it's universal. It feels very personal. It almost doesn't, how does this even make sense? I'm talking about universal themes, and somehow they always affect you very personally. And so this is one of the things I want to talk about with numerology, especially because we have 12 life paths, essentially. There's 1 through 9, and then the master numbers 11, 22, and 33. And it's one of those things, it's like, well, how can this be personal if they're general? So I want to explain to you how I came to this and what my experience is with this information and what it has to do with your past lives and your soul and your soul's purpose. So once again, you probably know me from these forecasts. Well, you might not know that I am very, very psychic. In fact, for over 20 years, I've been doing psychic readings. Now, I stopped doing personal one-on-one psychic readings many years ago because what happened was I kept seeing the same themes in people's lives over and over and over again. And my purpose and my passion is to help as many people as I can in this life that I have this time around, right? So I wanted to become a full-time teacher, and so I became a full-time teacher. This is what I do full-time. And I love it, and it lights my soul, and this is one reason I'm sharing this with you right now. So even among psychics, I'm actually pretty different. Go figure. Because there's so many different types of psychics out there. It's such a rare profession, and each one of us is very unique, just like with anything else. And as a psychic, my specialty, when people think about psychics, they think about fortune telling or seeing the future, but that's actually not what we all do, and that's definitely not what I specialized in. Now, obviously, if you know my forecast, I forecast the future not by telling you what is definitely going to happen to you. I talk about the energies, the probable energies in the future, and this is how I use numbers and planets and symbols and the information I receive from my spirit guides. However, as a psychic, my specialty was reading your past. In particular, past lives and your life planning. So what you planned before you were born. So if you've been around the metaphysical community, you most likely know that you've heard about we choose our life before we're born. And yet what do you even make of that, right? It's kind of confusing. And, sometimes you would think like, why would I choose that? Why would I choose this body, these parents, these circumstances, these hardships? And that's what I specialized in. Why you chose your life and how your soul is growing from that. And I'm also an energy healer because I studied a lot of energy healing techniques, because I didn't want to just like leave people in this quagmire of like, like what? But let me tell you something about the healing. And this is why I love numerology, and this is why I find it healing. Because when I was studying these past lives and how people were planning, one of the most important tools that I use is numerology to look at what the soul has planned in this lifetime, and also the subconscious fears and karmic lessons that we have in that. And I have found that numerology is like the gateway into the soul. It is basically like reading a map of the soul. And as a psychic, when I did these readings, thousands and thousands of readings, for 10 years, the life path number was the only number I looked. It may have even been longer than 10 years, because I wanted to study this. I wanted to study this in actual people, not from a book. I didn't learn this from books. I learned this from seeing patterns in people's lives and what they all had in common for each number, and also what the gifts are. We all express ourselves in very unique ways. And one reason that numerology has been so helpful for me as a psychic in understanding people is that we do have unique ways, but it's kind of like when you have, you know, if you're about to like adopt a dog, and I hope you get one from a shelter if you do adopt, you know, when you're about to adopt a dog, and there's different kinds of dogs, and they're each good at different things, and like they each have different things that they need to do to be happy. For instance, like a pit bull, you're going to want to play like tug with the pit bull because they'll need to use that great jaw of theirs, right? You're getting a chihuahua, they may need to be held. You know, a husky needs to like run, and they all need, all dogs need to exercise. But you know, they each have a very distinct way that they need to be happy. And that is what numerology teaches us. It's like what we need to be happy, how we experience the world. And each one I found through these thousands of readings, the numerology very much teaches like what each number must have to be happy, but also what their past life circumstances are coming in. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this process of choosing our life before we're born, because I don't really think there's a lot of information on it. And it's really important, because I have found that knowing why you choose certain circumstances is very healing. Because if you're just feeling like the universe is random, or like, why me? What did I do? Did I have some bad karma? Like, what did I do wrong? It's usually not like that. It's usually your soul wants to learn a set of lessons, and you choose your life before you're born to help you learn those lessons. For instance, you choose your parents to help you not only nourish your gifts, but also karmic lessons. Like let's say, for instance, you need to learn how to believe in yourself in this lifetime. Well, you might probably choose parents who don't like believe in you, or like who are negative or critical toward you. Now that seems counterintuitive, right? But on a soul level, it makes sense, because what you're meant to learn is what your greatest challenge is. So if you are just kind of given something, like if something, it's just like a golden spoon, or like you just are born with something that's easy for you, there's no need to learn it. So when you don't have something, you need to find that from within, and then you strengthen that. And that becomes like through this process of learning how to gain something from within. So if you have parents that didn't enhance your self-esteem, and you want to learn how to believe in yourself in this lifetime, you're going to choose parents sometimes that don't reinforce this for you, so that you learn from within to find your self-esteem from within, to affirm yourself. So this is one of the ways we're making these choices on the other side before we come in. And this is what my spirit guides mostly shared in readings. And of course, I help people make empowering choices, because that, again, is my passion and my purpose, is to empower people with this knowledge. And it becomes a very healing process when you have to heal yourself from within. So it's like the person who was a drug addict, for instance. And then they found their healing, and they healed themselves through the dark night of the soul. And now they want to help others, right? And that's so much what our life purpose is. It's not, you would think that your life purpose is, okay, you have these gifts, and so you're born into a family, an environment, a body, whatever it is, that's going to just make those gifts easy for you. And sometimes that's the case. Oftentimes, your greatest gifts that you share with the world are the result of you overcoming your greatest challenges. And this is one reason we choose the whatever bodies we're in, the parents we have, the city you're born in. You choose all of this before you're born. So I hope you're gaining some kind of understanding of, oh, okay, I see. It's not always, now you may notice that life here isn't always easy, right? So things that are easy, those are gifts that you don't need to work on in this life. And so those are meant to be shared joyfully and easily. And what you came to do is often the result of your greatest challenge, right? Because it's strengthened from within. So one of the things that I noticed in doing these thousands of readings for so many people. Now, again, I didn't learn numerology from books. I learned numerology from the sessions I had and the information that came through with my spirit guides about each person's life and the life path numbers. And again, I started to see some past life traumas for each number, and subconscious patterns. So my special, it's actually even in my birth chart. I have a lot of 12th house in my birth chart, and 12th house is the house of the subconscious mind and psychic energy. So I can actually help read subconscious thoughts, and those are what I help heal as well. So, and again, you know, like when you hear someone psychic, you don't know that. Like some psychics don't do that. And some psychics are really specialized in helping see the future. It's really, we all have our gifts. Some psychics talk to departed loved ones. And isn't that amazing how we're so unique? And that's the whole point. This is what I share and I teach in everything I do, is helping people understand their uniqueness. Because when we come down here, we have all this conditioning about really that we're all meant to be exactly the same, that you're supposed to enjoy the same activities and flock in the same kind of groups and have a secure job that means that it's like a regular paycheck that's coming from somebody else. None of these things are accurate for all people. And so when you understand, we have these tools, right? So we have astrology and numerology and our spirit guides and our intuition. They're all tools that help us decipher why we came down here and how to get to our destiny. So your circumstances that you chose before you were born, that's like fate. And your destiny is what you make of it. There's certain gifts that you're meant to share. There's certain people that you're meant to meet, and you don't have to. It's when you're listening to your intuition, when you're listening to the clues in the universe. It's like a map, right? It's guiding you, always guiding you toward your destiny. You can stay in that fateful place, or you can go toward your destiny. So the beauty is we have tools. And this is one of the reasons that I love numerology. So in addition to choosing your parents and choosing your place of birth and choosing your body. And again, I hope I've given you more understanding of like, why would I choose that? So in addition to that, you actually choose your time and place of birth. You choose your name because actually your name is no accident. Every letter in your name has a number. You choose your birth date because of the planetary alignment of your birth date and the numbers in your birth date and a specific life path number that you're meant to have as well. These are all clues. Now, they're not just clues, they're actually the chemistry that you're made up of. Because if you actually look at the sacred geometry and the energy of each number or each planet, it has a certain energy. So it's like, what ingredients are getting baked into your cake? Kind of, mine is a gluten-free cake, vegan. So like, what ingredients are being baked into yours? So each one of these symbols and planets and numbers, and the letters in your name, they're energy. So when you look at a birth chart or you look at the life path number, you look at a birth date or even a name, this gives you an idea of the energy that you're meant to manifest, the energy that you're working with. That gives you an idea of the kind of how you experience the world, what you're meant to do, what you need to be happy. And again, we're taught like we're all the same. I don't know why there's manuals for different breeds of dogs, but not different breeds of people. There are though. These are the tools. Astrology is one, numerology is another, and of course your intuition. So you choose your birth date to give you a certain kind of chemistry. And the beauty is, it's like a gift from the heavens because your birth date then becomes a clue as to what you need to be happy and what your past life circumstances were that made you choose this kind of direction. And there's so much healing that comes from just understanding that. But in addition to that, you know what you need to be happy. So for instance, a 7 life path has to have time alone. They have to find a job where they get to research and dig into things and just really like have that time to process this incredible psychic energy. Now again, 7 life paths also come in with some past life beliefs that the world might like slip out quickly beneath their feet or they may be betrayed. 1 life paths need to be independent and foster a sense of independence, and they have all these ideas and they need to learn how to manifest them. So they make great entrepreneurs. There's certain numbers that are geared more toward being an entrepreneur. There's certain numbers that are geared more towards security and don't like that kind of risky business. If you're a 5 life path, you live on risky business and you'll like be so bored if you don't have it. So there's 5 life paths that are clients of mine. They've had maybe multiple spouses or multiple types of jobs, but their life path is about a variety of experiences. For instance, the letters N, E, and W in numerology all add up to 5. Each one of those letters is a 5. So the 5 life path always has to be doing something new. So if you're conditioned to think, wow, I'm meant to like just have this kind of job and there's something wrong with me, so I can't like move on to another job because like people will think I'm flaky. But that's actually your life path then. If you're a 5, you're meant to have variety. For instance, the 9 life path, they have life lessons around abandonment oftentimes, or they're old souls, right? So it's like, if you're an old soul in a fairly young soul world, and now you can be an old soul of any number, and there's plenty of young soul life path 9s, I'm sure. And yet they have that feeling of that old soul of being different, because the 9 life path has to learn to get their wisdom from within. It's the hermit in the tarot. That that Zoso album, The Hermit, like looking inside, that covered that Led Zeppelin. So when you have someone who's a 9 life path, oftentimes they'll have parents or an environment where they grew up feeling like nobody understands me, or my gifts like have never been nurtured. And when you realize, when you find out that there's a reason for that your soul chose that, so that you can find that from within. Another example, the 4 life path. So the 4 in the tarot is the Emperor. And the 4 life paths have to learn how to father themselves. So oftentimes, I know a lot of 4 life paths whose fathers passed away when they were very young, because they had to learn how to not have that father energy, or maybe their fathers were emotionally unavailable, or maybe sometimes even abusive, or they just idolized their father and never felt like they could live up to them. Whatever that case is, the 4 life path often has this sense of, my dad wasn't there. They often passed away. And so when you realize, if you are one of these people and your dad passed away when you're younger, and you realize, yeah, you know what? That was part of your soul contract, so that you would, now they're going to be with you. They're always communicating with you on the other side. They can be your spirit guide. But if you realize, like, wow, my soul chose that because I am meant to learn how to be that authority within, how to father myself. That was a choice. It brings so much healing. So this is why I am so passionate about people understanding their numerology. Here's another thing too. Children, spouses, partners, we all speak different languages. So like, if you understand what your partner is, like, you can speak their love language. So if you know you're married to a 5 life path who craves freedom, you're not going to be like, hey, can I put you on a tracking device where I know where you are at every minute? Like, you just know, you got to speak these people's languages, and opposites attract. So you have to know the love language of your children, your parents, your spouses, your coworkers. Every single person on my team, I know their numbers, so I know what they need to be happy, right? Me and my partner, I mean, we get it, right? So I understand. My sweet husband, my 1 life path. So his 1 life path. So this is why it's so important to understand what your chart is like, what course you charted. And this is why I'm so passionate about sharing numerology with you. It's not just a tool for forecasting, and it can be used for that. It's also a wonderful tool for when your spirit guides want to communicate to you. And if you understand numbers, then you have this whole other language to communicate with your spirit guide. And learning your life path, I really feel that understanding the really in-depth of your life path, I cannot imagine not knowing that. And for all of my clients, that is how I started every single reading. I'd have to, I really looked into those life path numbers, and there's so many patterns that are similar with all of them. And it's tremendously healing. It's tremendously helpful for knowing each other, with knowing how to communicate with people, and know what you need to be happy, because we're not taught that. We're taught to be like everybody else, and sometimes it's confusing. So right now, I have my Numerology Illuminated course. It's at a very deep discount right now, only through the end of the month. So I don't know how to put this mildly, but I really feel like everyone needs to understand their life path numbers and understand each other with this, because it can be very life-changing. And it's on sale right now, and this is a 3-hour masterclass. I go through all of the life path numbers, 1 through 9, 11, 22, and 33. It will help you understand yourself and every single person in your life, and completely change the way you look at the world. And the other thing is that you really develop a sense of profound gratitude for the universe And how amazing it is that like our name, our birthday, all of that was planned. Nothing is random. You have so much help and so much support. So I hope that this has helped you, and I hope that this helps you understand how special and unique you are. And I hope you take advantage of this Numerology Illuminated course. There's also 2 additional Q&As in this. And I teach this in such a way, now if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know I make things very clear. Numerology as it is, well, some people make it very boring because it could be very heady, but it is not. It's really fun. I make it very fun because it is fun and it's easy. It's really easy. And I teach it with the tarot. So it's actually a course in the tarot and numerology at once. It's because that's how I learned it. Because when I was doing readings, I learned the life path numbers by the archetypes of the tarot. And there's so much wisdom that went into the tarot. So I hope that you take advantage of this. I hope that you learn more about yourself so that you can live the life your soul intended. And I hope you know how much I love you. I hope you take advantage of this. This is on sale just through the end of the month. And I poured my heart into this because I love sharing this information so much. And I love you. And that's all for now. Bye for now.